It's currently 7:47 p.m. I recall waking up today around 11:30. In the morning. After going to bed around 3:30 in the morning, falling asleep within half an hour of that. I recall starting to have my first cup of coffee around noon. Taking a few sips before around 12:15 p.m. Having a peanut butter and jelly English muffin sandwich with some jelly that Dad's mom produced homemade. The jelly was pretty good. And then around 1:15 p.m., I had with my second cup of coffee of plain coffee. I only recall having 2 cups today. Because around 1:15 p.m., I had 2 sandwiches with bologna, cheese, and ketchup. I think the type of bread that may have been used, it seemed like, thinking about it now, like Texas toast. A thick sliced loaf of bread. This is pretty good. Steak, whole milk, asparagus, snow peas, and chorizo sausage. And this is after doing about 10 minutes of ab exercises, beginner, which required some effort to do, but they weren't too difficult. I'm currently playing Chef Last Stand. Within the past hour or two, I got the first easy badge for the game for collecting 100 coins in one run. Due to me learning the placement pattern of the garbage cans, which seems to follow a sort of square or rectangle based pattern. Due to the upgrades I've been getting to Chef, with the coins I've collected in previous runs, they're called Red Andrew Reapers by the game, it seems, but they seem to be colored black rather than red. Their size went from basically practically being a one-hit kill, pretty much, to one of only two things that can do any significant damage. To Chef at this point. Which is, again, the size of the Red Andrew Reapers, and coming into contact with the Red Yetis, which I'm not sure if that's what they're called, but they are actually red. During a run, all the enemies start spawning at the same set times, and there's a pattern to it. At 5 minutes, it's just a wave of nothing but hoggle wharfs. Eight minutes, it's a sort of Zerg rush of all the weaker enemies. For 8 minutes in, around 10 minutes in, that's when the Red Yetis come. And finally, the Red Andrew Reapers start spawning around 12.5 to 13 minutes in, based on what I've observed. It's currently 8:30 p.m. I just got back from helping move some old stuff, such as some old shutters, from the garage in the backyard to a sort of red dumpster. That looks more like a shipping container than a dumpster. The red dumpster in our front yard. Right after Dad gave me a sort of brief tour of the exterior of the house and the garage with its new siding. Just about finished. This was after I got all of the remaining badges for Chef Last Stand after I finished the run I was on. At the time I filmed the first part of this video. In the afternoon, I started this polystyrene drawing project because I decided to call my mom, and she told me about an upcoming trip to visit her mother. And then later, I had her text me what her mother likes, what colors and flowers she likes, so that I could do a polystyrene drawing project as a gift for her. These are the Sharpie markers I'm using for the petals, and these are the ones I used for the base of the sunflower itself. I did the base first, and then I worked on the petals from the late afternoon hours to some of the evening hours. Though I'll probably be going to bed soon in order to stay on a good sleep schedule. I'm using this for the outline of the petals themselves, and then I'll use these three other Sharpie markers in order to color and detail the petals. I'll go around once with the petals, and then I'll go around again, filling in the gaps between the petals created the first time around. In the beginning, I spent some time deciding exactly which Sharpie markers I would need for this project, and then ultimately to decide what markers would be used for which parts of this project. I can definitely fit the sunflower on here, and maybe a rose too. Definitely at least a rose, but I'm not sure if I can fit those two flowers and then a tulip on top of that, but I'll try my best. I also worked on this polystyrene drawing project today. A little during the first hours of today, and then a little more during the early afternoon hours. Yeah, but not that much because I would have worked on it more, but then I got the idea to do another gift for Mom's mom. I recall having one of the Wegmans branded kabochas that Dad got from a recent Wegmans trip after lunch. And I recall that it was shortly after lunch. That kabocha was pretty good. And then later on I had tap water from one of the gray glasses. One of the two gray glasses that's at Dad's place.